We will start with import-MIB command. We'll print out the help for this command. And as you can see, the command is transforming a MIB file into a PowerShell object, and it have several possible parameters like the OID repo, update OID repo, silent, and we will go through them and I will show you the examples. What you can also do yourself is when you are printing the help, you can provide this parameter detailed, which will show you not only the help but also the examples. Let's pick one example and we're gonna demonstrate that on Nimble storage MIB. We're gonna import that, and as a parameter we will provide Nimble MIB, which is the name of the file which I have in the same directory. This generation of the objects will take some time depending on the size of the MIB. This one is pretty small, so it's going relatively fast. The bigger MIB, the slower it will go. So those are the objects print out. It provides the type, it provides the OID, status, full name, syntax, some description, the name, its parent, etc. One of the important information is the OID. This one is not fully translated into the number, which is caused by the fact that in that MIB which we compiled or transformed to the objects, the enterprise ID is not defined there. It's defined in the standard. So what we are going to do, we will provide it a OID repository, which it can looks into and translate this as well. So let's run it with the OID repo standard CSV, which is this OID repository of the standard MIBs. Now, because it will be checking that standard repository, it takes a little longer. Now, as you can see, the OID is fully resolved into its numbered format. As another example, we will use a Nimble traps MIB, which defines the traps related to the Nimble storage. And even though we provided the standard OID repository, what you will see is that the OID will be not fully resolved. And as you can see again, it's taking a time because it's trying to figure out the OID using the standard repository, so it's taking longer to the script. And of course, the bigger the OID repository will be, the longer it will take. Now, you see it's not fully resolved, and it's actually what is not resolved is this Nimble OID. So where that is, you will figure out from the imports of the MIB file or import object generated by this. Or this Nimble OID is defined in that Nimble MIB which we compiled previously. However, we didn't update it into our repository. So what we will do is we'll just copy our standard repository and create my OID repo CSV, and we will update it with the objects from the Nimble MIB. will use OID repo, my OID repo, and parameter update OID repo. So it will do this update. To not write out all those informations on the screen, we will use parameter silent. So it will give us possibly just empty result when it updates successfully, or some information about the possible errors. So it's updated. Now if I will go again and try to compile it, and I will use my new my OID repo CSV, it shall fully translate. Let's see. Okay, as you see now, it fully resolves the OID. Because it's taking quite some time to get this result and work with this every time doing the import-MIB would take obviously a lot of time, it's advisable to export the result into the CSV. So what I'm going to do is I will export CSV, use no type information, and just provide a name. So let's call it Nimble Traps CSV. It again takes some time. It will generate a CSV file. Okay, it's done. So we have our CSV file right here, Nimble Traps CSV. So now if we want, we can open it in Microsoft Excel and work with it as with a table, or we can use import CSV Nimble Traps CSV, and it will give us the same information which we have before using Import-MIB. We can use also the where, and we can, for example, get all the objects or all the OIDs which are, let's say, a notification type, right? So we take the object type equals to notification type. So it provides just the notifications. I was saying that OID which was not resolved was from the different MIB, how you can figure it out and how you can figure out which other MIBs you need in order to compile this successfully and get complete OID resolved is to check the imports. So let's go for the object type imports, and it will print me basically the name of the MIB modules which are required in order to fully translate the Nimble Traps MIB. So you need those 3 MIB modules to fully translate, and that's how I figure out that I need a Nimble MIB. One example, if we would try to update the MIB, but we wouldn't have this knowledge previously, which I did, and just try to update the traps to the standard. Let me first create a copy again. So cp standard to my OID repo. So we are starting clear, right? And now let's do the import MIB traps and try to update the repository. And because it's actually missing the Nimble MIB, it will print out the error that it's not able to translate and that we are probably missing something. So it's print out the handful of errors, and the example, let's pick this one for example. It's saying that Nimble trap MIB, Nimble shelf reconnect with this OID is not fully resolved. So it's saying that using the OID repo which we provided, it's not able to translate it. Hence, you need to take a look in your imports and see if you have any dependencies which you need to compile upfront.